Well, hey everyone, it is another episode of the Don't Wrestle Your Neighbor morning show podcast.
Another one.
Another one. My name's Trey. This is your boy Evan. And today we have a special episode because we're going to talk about something that I am newly involved in. And
As
Evan,
you can see, we've left a chair open.
right, there is
for the
not
Holy
a ghost
Spirit
in here. We've left room. But we're going to talk about Harry Potter today. And we figured we would have a person who is also
our resident Harry Potter expert.
Yeah, our resident Harry Potter expert or a resident Harry Potter lover on the show today, who I will say got me to read Harry Potter.
And use the library.
Not so sure about the library thing, but the Harry Potter thing I am super excited about. So here in a moment, we're going to have Kelsey join us on the show. So we'll be there.
And by a moment, we mean
right now.
Right now. Let's give her a round of applause, everyone. I'll put some applause in post.
All right.
What is going on?
Listen, you are using my library card to read Harry Potter.
We are platform sharing a library card, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
The fact that we can do that in 2021 is pretty impressive.
He's using the library. That's what I want everyone to take away from this.
Yeah,
Trey
I am
using the library.
Well, and every day I look for other books on my library.
So see, it hasn't been a waste of your time.
Well, I look every day and it's like 3 weeks wait. 5 weeks wait.
Hey, you know what though? You know what? Here we go. I think that too many people get things immediately now. Sometimes you need to wait for what you want. Sometimes you need to go to Blockbuster.
That's not the world we live in.
And
sometimes
like such a dad.
you need to go to Blockbuster and realize that the movie you want is all rented out. And you need to walk up to the desk and you need to say, do you have this movie in the return box? No, the one that we were looking at is 2 days late.
Do we still have a family video around here? I don't think Fridays.
So.
Pretty much all of middle school.
Listen,
every
kids.
Friday I was going.
There used to be a world in which you had to drive to rent movies.
Yeah,
to drive there and hope for the best.
Not you driving. And then hopefully your parents were driving you.
I would also drive.
Yeah, but like in middle school,
whenever I was in high school, Blockbuster was still alive.
I'd never had a Blockbuster locally. I had a family video, but family video to me was the same thing as Blockbuster.
Anyway, Trey, all that to say, patience, man. If it's worth it, you'll feel good about it.
I think
once
for
it gets
me
here.
though. The reason why the Harry Potter stuff has been frustrating for me is because I want to get through it so that I can watch the movies.
You know what every good piece of art has in common?
What?
You just wanting to get through it, Mm-hmm. Can I be done with this now?
I'm loving the books, but we're going to get into that. But I want to be able to read to my daughter these stories.
I see.
And so because we read and I want to.
But you're not going to read them like tomorrow.
No, but like I realistically would like to go through them more than once.
By the time Sayla's our age, she won't have to read anything. I'm just kidding.
You're not though. That's a very large possibility. But anyway, today we are going to talk about Harry Potter. Not a whole lot planned for this episode in regards of like questions and stuff like that. We're just really going to chat about it. Evan, though, you've seen all of the movies?
I've seen the movies, have not read the books, but I have seen the covers of the books, so I feel like that gives me a leg up.
Yeah, but you can't judge a book by its cover.
Oh, okay.
But that's fair.
Oh, no.
I have seen 4 of the movies.
The first
4 movies, and I have now read the first 4 books, and I'm on book number 5. And
which is?
It is Order of Phoenix.
Order of the Phoenix.
Yes.
Is it Order of Phoenix or Order of the Phoenix?
Order of the Phoenix.
Wow, I haven't even read the books, and I know the titles better than you do.
But you've seen the covers.
Yeah, that's true.
You've seen the covers. I'm audio booking, so I'm not looking at the covers of the book. So yeah, and so Kelsey, you have read and watched.
I've read them several times.
Okay.
Listening to them right now, and then watching. I've seen the movies lots. I saw the later movies like as they came out, went to midnight showings of the
that's awesome.
Later movies.
Can I say, I haven't read the books obviously, but it seems like the movies absolutely chef's kiss casting. They're perfect, right?
Yes, yeah, I think so.
They seem perfect.
I mean, as a person who's now watched the movies, I watched the movies, the first 4 at least, before I read anything. like I cannot visualize as I'm listening without the characters like that are in the movies, and like I don't know that I ever would want to. Like they're like the Harry character, like Hermione, Ron, like the Weasley family, like everybody, Snape. Like it is well done. Yeah, well done. Yeah, but
perfectly casted. I always felt that way. Yeah, whenever I was watching them.
So I do have one question for you. So you have read through the books. Why in the world, if you had to give a reason, why in the world should people be reading these books?
I think, for me, the creative genius of J.K. Rowling is pretty amazing. Her ability to create this whole world that is so immersive that, like, I mean, it's like she's thought of everything.
Right.
Like, I don't know how someone does that. And I don't, she's tried writing other things and her other things have not been as successful.
Right.
She's so good at this. Like, the story is so cohesive from beginning to end that it's like, did you like know that like at the very beginning?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
It's a long series.
It is a very long series.
The books are long themselves, but it's 7 books. But like things at the very end connect all the way back to the very beginning, and it's just I mean it's just creative genius. I think as a piece of literature, like it's gonna go down as
Stand
one of those
toe to toe.
those great pieces of literature. But it's just a really great story too. Like you feel all the feels when you're reading it. Like it's really, really good. And so it starts out children's book-ish, but by the end, like, I mean, I'm almost 38, a couple weeks.
We did not ask you that question. So
I know, but I still you're still in it.
So, but also, I think that's amazing. So you also, when you and Daniel kind of talk about these books, you kind of talk about how you, in a way, grew up with them in a sense. And I think that's super fascinating because you talk about the children's side of it. And then it's like when it gets to probably the 5th or 6th book, it definitely grows up real quick.
Yes.
And
it grows up with the kids because they get older.
For sure.
What are the chances Hogwarts just real? And she knows about it and just wrote down all the stuff.
Right. I mean, there are things in which that in the Harry Potter world that people who have, experienced certain things can see that the rest of the world cannot.
Honestly though, too, I wonder how much of what she puts in the books is like autobiographical to some extent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there has to be some sense of like.
Obviously, she's going through different things, like as she's going through different parts of her life. Like, I wonder what parts of her life she put in the book and what she completely imagined.
Yeah, I was not a Harry Potter hater. I would never classify myself as that.
Wow, we went all the way. We were loving Harry Potter here. You just brought up. Just said, "Hey."
I do. I was never a hater, but for a long time, I just said, "Eh." It was mainstream, and I figured that anything mainstream.
You were too cool.
There was a level of that. Anything mainstream in my mind.
You were too busy watching videos of people doing baton passes back and forth. Like, this is art.
I was heavily involved in sports. I read I read a lot growing up, but like this was one of those things where it seemed so out of like my realm that it was like not touchable, and so it was mainstream and it was like wizards, and I was never in like witches.
Which sounds like dumb.
No, really, it does sound foolish. Yeah. And then so for a long time, and then I remember when the movies came out, I like started watching them and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. But I almost felt, man, it's kind of too late for me to really dig into these books. Especially because like I remember going to the Scholastic Book Fair and like seeing these books and like, it's like, nah, man, I'm gonna get a poster in a magazine because like these books.
Classic book fair behavior.
What poster magazine did you get?
Oh, I had lots of posters. I had a Lamborghini. I had a lime green Lamborghini. I had a Michael Jordan poster. I got a Sports Illustrated magazine.
Michael Jordan checks out because I know you love basketball.
Yeah,
Lamborghini. I've never heard you talk about.
It was like I was like the definition of a kid who like wanted to be involved and like know about cars but knew nothing about cars. So I had posters of cars on my wall, and I could only tell you what they were because on the bottom of them it said Lamborghini, it said Porsche, it said Mustang GT. But yeah, so I just remember like seeing these books, and I read a series of unfortunate events, which I loved that series. And then I was like, and then I read Chronicles of Narnia, but I was like, man, I don't know that I can do another one of these. By the time I finished all of those, I was almost in 8th grade. And so it was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. It's not about it. So I was not a hater, but
you just didn't. You just couldn't get into it.
I felt like I couldn't get into it. I felt like I was too late.
Well, I think that majorly speaks to the book series because obviously we have someone next to us that's enjoyed the books since she was very young, and now you're just getting into the books and you're in your late 20s.
Yeah.
Yeesh. And
Gosh, man, don't say 20s. Yeesh. I just said I was in my late 30s. So
yeah, but the yeesh was directed at him.
It was directed at me. He was letting me know that I'm getting older. I'm no longer perfect.
You got to take Trey down a peg every now and then.
When were you ever perfect?
I feel like there was an age group where I felt, amazing, and now it's
know that you weren't. No, but I think it speaks to the book series to be able to like someone that is both very young and very much in the prime of their life.
Oh my!
Can be into
older than Trey,
older than dirt.
Why did I come here today? Why
talk about Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
No.
When did you start? Yeah, I think that does speak to the series. It's very great.
Yeah,
we've now aged you drastically. We're very sorry about this. Thank you for coming onto the show today. When did you start reading them?
I actually did not start reading them until I was in college.
Okay, that's even more fascinating.
There you go.
Because they came out. So the first one came out in 96.
I don't remember.
I want to say it was in the late 90s. I want to say the first book came
that's
out.
probably true. Look it up.
I know. I will look it up.
I remember being in my little bedroom in Rockdale, Texas, and taking my VHS tape and going across the little tape thing and putting it into my VCR in my room and hitting play and watching Harry Potter in my room. Yeah. Like
on VHS?
Yeah. On
so
VHS.
90, first one was 97.
When did the movie
so I would
come
have been
out?
in 7th grade.
97,
then.
98, 99, 2000, 2003.
When did the movie come
5
out?
and 7. First movie.
So, when Harry Potter first came out.
Right.
Little bit of like controversy in the Christian world.
Oh, for sure. 2001.
Whether or not that was
that adds up.
2001. So I was 8. I was not allowed to watch them. I was sneaking them.
No, you were sneaking it. Okay.
Yeah, I was sneaking them.
How in the world was
how
a
did
kid
you sneak
sneaking
a VHS
tape?
I taped it somehow.
So you were like me.
Because it was rented.
Illegal.
Oh,
but then I like taped it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like a.
Wow,
I
honestly,
snuck it.
You might be in the wrong profession.
No, I snuck it, but then it was fine because I got caught, obviously.
Right.
And then but then they were like,
It's whatever.
It was
Yeah.
fine.
So I feel like, in the beginning it was kind of that like, oh, I don't think Christians should watch Harry Potter or read Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Magic.
Yes. So I might have got on the tail end of that.
You don't remember the verse where Jesus was like, Expelliarmus?
Oh.
Yikes.
We'll cut that out.
So I think probably I didn't read it.
Okay. Right.
Because of that.
Right. There's a level of, for sure. I mean, growing up in my house, I wasn't even allowed to watch like Fairly Odd Parents. So like I get
Yeah.
it. Like the magic thing was a little bit, if you didn't know about it or you hadn't read it,
Yes.
there was a level of like, oh, there's a level of concern here.
You know what we
Yes.
call those people? Muggles.
Yeah. Classic. Yep. Classic. Yeah, I think now though, like,
Mudbloods.
I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I read a lot of articles, and it's like it's that level of like any book that can get teens to read a 500-page book.
Yeah.
Is
Times
doing
7.
right multiple times.
Yeah.
Is doing something right, and you now have to take into consideration like what its value is.
Yes. Well, and I once I got to college, my best friend in college, she was a huge Harry Potter
She had
fan.
read them.
Yes, because I think they were still coming out.
Okay, yeah.
And like the later ones.
What year of college was that?
It was like 2003 or 4.
You're really not old.
I know.
Kelsey,
I'm not saying I'm old. You guys. Are
We
the ones
aren't saying that
I'm
you're old either.
No.
So like they were still coming out, the later ones. And so
Okay.
I remember her like getting a new book and like reading it, and
And you were like, I want to be a part of this.
well, waited till the whole series was out.
Oh, so you...
And then I started reading them.
Respect.
But then I loved them, and that was... Yeah, it was like...
Have you seen the video of that guy who's like the fastest reader in the world?
Yes,
That's how I imagine Kelsey reading the books.
So how long did it take you to get through them all?
Not long.
Okay.
Just power through them all.
So
one right after the other. But they were like physical copies of the books.
Okay.
Which is how I prefer to read. Listening, the guy who reads these is really, really great. But I still...
Did you guys get to that part yet? Ah, dang it. Okay.
I still prefer like physically reading
I
a
got you.
book.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would also agree. I think for me, like, I'm currently listening through the audiobooks, and I've never read them. I feel like I'm a pretty good, like, I guess it's an auditory learner. And so I feel like I'm able to comprehend what's going on, listening pretty well. I think when I was younger, for sure, I would have definitely rather have read them. But like the guy who reads them,
I know he's so good. It's Jim Daly.
I would want him to read pretty much every fictional book that
Let's have him on the podcast.
I know. He's probably going to
get him on your podcast.
If we can get him, man, we might as well just shut down the show.
That'll be the season finale, series finale.
No promises, people.
He's just going to read the last page of Harry Potter, the last book.
That would be epic.
And then we just epic, lights out.
Well, it'll never happen.
You're like, well, we couldn't get him, so I'm just gonna play it for you.
Well, no, I'm literally gonna say I'll try. I'll read it for him. Yeah. So you read the books, and did your perception change about them? Like, how did you?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think like once you read them, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this sounds mean. Like when you when you read it, you can see the value that is in there, and you can see themes that are not actually contrary to like
your beliefs,
Christianity, but themes that would support and stand alongside of your
So
faith.
that was one of my questions whenever I was driving in today. I was thinking, what are the themes that keep pulling you back into the series? Like, what are the things that you pull out of there that you're like, man, that's just a really good message? Like, what is that?
Like one of the top themes would be friendship.
Yeah.
Which I think you will get to in book 7.
Okay.
Like mostly like this.
In the value of it, in the importance of it, or
the value, the importance, the like just the strength of the bonds of friendship. So I think friendship is probably like one of the top ones. But there's always the theme of good versus evil and good triumphing over evil, and which is always compelling in any story.
Yeah, light and dark. Yeah,
I think one of my favorite themes that I like keeps bringing me back is like each book so far. There's been one individual in which I feel that I am supposed to dislike. And I learn, like, as you learn about them, you learn why they are the way that they are. So like Neville.
Yep.
Like I just listened to a scene, and it was like almost emotional listening to him kind of talk about like his parents, and like they show up at this place where his mom and dad are basically out of it, and Ron, Hermione, and Harry, they kind of experience this all together, and it's like, oh my goodness. We've treated you, or they haven't treated him poorly, but we've treated you like this without knowing what your history is. And it's like, that is life. Like, that is real. You don't know someone's story before they like tell you about it. So
I feel she's so good at that, because she doesn't only do that with like Neville.
Right.
She does it with every, like, well, even my favorite character. Have I told you my favorite character?
I don't think you have, no.
It's Snape.
Okay, so I would say that too. Like right now, he's learned. Is it oscillating? There's a class that he's taking right now with Snape. Harry is with Snape, and it's like you are supposed to occlumency. That's the word they use. You are supposed to be the worst person in the world, and really, you're kind of mean. But like, you're really not that bad.
Well, but you just have
you
to
really don't know what happens, do you?
No, I have no clue.
I know.
I literally don't know, so don't ruin it for me.
Okay.
But like, I mean, that's what's so crazy about like the books right now. Is I'm in the 5th book, and there are how many?
Trey is like somebody that went into a bunker in like 2000.
Right.
And he just came out like last year.
I just did not watch
and he's never tried like any food or like...
That's true. That's true.
I have not tried a lot of food.
You are the second friend of mine in like the recent past that is experiencing Harry Potter for the first time.
Right.
And it's like, I feel so jealous of that.
Right. Well, and it's what's so difficult for me right now is like, as I am listening, as I am kind of watching through this or listening to the book, like, I only have 2 books left, and my perception of Snape potentially is going to change, and it's already changing. Yeah. Like, you have done nothing so far. At the beginning, you were just mean, and you were unnecessary, and then you learn about like why Snape does not like the Potter family because, you know, he feels there's a sense of owing to the Potter family, but now he feels kind of right with the world because he saves Harry. And so but then there's more that I'm going to learn. There's way more.
And I just think that is to her credit, like,
right? Like,
as a writer, because she just continues to peel back layers that like make you. I don't know. It's really. I think her character development is top notch.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. I mean, I am in the 5th book, and so we're dealing with like the annoyance of Umbridge. Harry just lost his ability to fly. His Quidditch just got banned from Quidditch. Classic.
I don't get it.
I don't have words to explain how much fun I'm having.
Yeah, see, that makes me happy because there's always a sense in which when you build something up,
right?
Like, it's like, okay,
for sure.
Are they gonna like it? Did I overhype it?
Yeah.
But I feel like I haven't overhyped it. I feel like it's living up to the hype.
I like to give things their, you want to give them I want to give her flowers. I mean, the books are fantastic, and I'm over halfway at this point, but just the character development, like, this is gonna sound so childish. I want to go to Disney World.
It's not Disney, it's Universal.
Universal, sorry. Yeah. I want to go to Universal and like experience Harry Potter World.
But you should.
Like, I want to buy a wand.
I have a wand.
You do want to buy
one. I want to buy a wand.
I saw some for sale on Facebook Marketplace the other day. I just thought about sending them to you.
Yeah, but you can't. You got to go to the actual place.
I'm gonna go, and I want to.
You have to go to the wand shop.
Yeah. Do you get it engraved or something?
You could.
No, but you can go through the whole experience of like selecting a wand.
And you get to hear what's his face talk.
Ollivander.
That really is like being a child again.
It really is, and it's the first time in a long time that I have felt. Because, most of my reading that I do is either for practicing for a sermon or like bettering kind of myself. And so, you read leadership books, you read books that help your spirituality. It's
about drive.
It's about drive, right? And so for the first time in a long time, I'm reading a fictional book, and it's helping my imagination. It's just joyful. It's fun. I'm experiencing emotions that I feel like I haven't felt since I was a kid, where as a kid, like for Harry in particular, he is a young boy. He's 14 years old, basically, and he's experiencing all these emotions. And you're like, Harry, you just got to grow up, man. You got to grow up a little bit, because when you get older, you recognize that this is how you handle situations. But he's 14 years old, and it's like, man, it's just fun. Like, it's a lot of fun. So
it's a coming of age story.
I feel that anybody who is a Harry Potter fan should go to the Wizarding World in
I agree.
Universal, like, because it is really like. Universal does such a good job of like creating this world that is
right.
Like, it's awesome.
And I've been at this point, but I've been, I just, I didn't have an appreciation for it. Right. Because 1, I hadn't read the books, and then 2, I have not seen all of the movies either. And so there's an element of like,
you don't even know.
No, I don't know anything. So.
Who do you think Hermione's going to end up with?
I believe she'll end up with Ron. I'm pretty sure about it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she'll end up with Ron. There's a level of hatred between them right now that it's like, it's cute. So Harry, though, not sure. It's not going to be Cho, but it'll be someone. Who knows?
Are you assuming Harry lives?
I would imagine. I'm hoping he lives. That'll make me hate you. That'll make me hate J.K. Rowling. That'll be sad. I'll be very sad. No. Anywho,
this week Evan already has given you a couple spoilers.
On Twitter, I remember. He spoiled Dobby dying, but like that wasn't that big of a spoiler because I remember on Twitter.
You're assuming that Dobby dies.
He does die.
You said it.
You said to me. You remember when Dobby dies? You were like, oh, that was sad when Dobby died.
We live in a magical world.
Yeah, anyway. So when Dobby died, I remember when that happened in the movie, not obviously when the book came out, I wasn't paying attention, but in the movie, when it came out, I remember on Twitter, people were like, you didn't have to do this. It's not necessary. Like, they were just really sad about it. And so, but anyway, so I'm loving my time as I'm reading through Harry Potter. Do you have any kind of, you've kind of given why people should read them, why they should watch them. Do you have any kind of sense of like, what is one thing that every person should get out of it? That's one person, if they're looking for like one theme, you talked about a bunch of themes, but what is probably your favorite theme that you get from the series, in which it's like, you know what, everyone needs to read through these? Yeah,
I think I obviously the friendship theme I think is really a strong one. I also love the theme that like you can, the choices that you make determine the kind of person you're going to be.
Right.
And you can, it's hard because you are not to the end. So I don't want to give things away. I get you.
Yeah.
But like,
thank you.
Like you.
I felt like I just caught a stray.
Caught a stray.
Trey said, thank you.
Oh. I think every character, there's always choices that they make that lead them to the place where they are and lead them to the place where they could be. And I think that's important for people to remember is like, your life is made up of a series of choices, and the choices that you make can take you on many different directions. And, sometimes your choices require bravery. Yeah. Sometimes your choices require sacrifice. Sometimes your choices require, it's not for you, it's for somebody else. And I just think those instances that she puts in the book of all of those things and people choosing those things, you talked about Neville's parents. Like
I have never listened to a book and got emotional listening to a scene. And because I listened to it this morning. So I'm even like kind of fresh. Emotional. It's a fresh emotion.
It's really raw right now.
It's very raw. And so it's very, the amount of emotions that go into that scene are...
because that's just another instance. They were standing up for what was right, standing up against evil at the cost of their sanity, at the cost of their life with their son. And they chose to do it because it was the right thing to do.
It was the right thing to do. And then also, but their son now has to face the consequences of that choice for them.
Yeah.
And... the scene with the rapper, like that's
impacts
so
his choices
for sure, too. For sure. And I think for me, the most emotional scene in that particular moment is when his grandma's like, "Hey, just go throw that away," and he like slides it in his pocket, and it's like that's just amazing. So.
Evan, you have no idea what we're talking about right now, do you?
No,
that's because that's probably not in the movie, is it?
Yeah. I'm sitting here going like this.
You're like,
yeah. So basically, Neville's parents.
Let's not explain it.
Okay, that's fine. That might be one of my favorite scenes that I've seen, like that I've experienced so far, because it's all of them are there. All the three friends are all there, and they are trying to figure some things out. They are there for Ron's dad, and they end up like just by happenstance experiencing this moment. And Harry kind of gets the elephant off of his back that he's been holding this secret for so long. And then Neville also gets to see that there's now people in his corner. And I don't know what that looks like yet, but I would imagine they're going to go back to Hogwarts at some point, and there's going to be a moment where Neville is like, you guys know, or he's maybe going to avoid him. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's just, I like it a lot. So,
does it make you want to read them?
No.
Oh, come on. Are you just going to hold out?
A little bit. It makes me want to read them a little bit.
Do you want Trey to come read them to you?
It's just my current life right now is like imagining trying to finish 8 books. 7. Sorry. It's
just 7.
It's 8 movies, 7 books. Imagining trying to finish 7 books is like such a daunting thought to me.
I get that. Yeah, I get
it. So it would take so long.
It is drastically, I'll say this, it has drastically changed. I feel like I have a level of imagination. I'm regaining that, and that's fun.
It's helping your creativity.
Yeah, I 100% believe that is that is true.
Maybe I should read them.
I mean, at least I think every person should be reading some sense of fiction.
I agree.
And so, like, whatever that is, we would say you should totally read Harry Potter, but I'm going to avoid my typical Galvanation personality
for today.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think everyone should be reading fiction because it's a beautiful. It
stretches your brain.
It does.
I think from an artistic perspective, you would appreciate it.
I think I would too.
Yeah.
I agree.
I have appreciated Harry Potter.
Would be his also love for film. I think he would hate it.
Aside from the film, like the book is, you have to take them. They're two completely different.
Yeah, but
things.
The films are what they are. I mean,
right, that's what I mean. They're two different things.
Yeah, they're two different things, and the nature of films, especially whenever you have a series, rarely will they all be of the same caliber, and some are great, and some are not, and some are okay, and some are, amazing. So it's just like that's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. And as long as what I appreciate about the movies, all 8 of them, is that they all immerse you into this world, which is what it should do.
Yes.
So whether the actual beats or like the arcs of the movie make perfect sense or are perfect doesn't matter as much to me for this, because in a series, as long as the movie is kind of immersing you into this world, then I think it's kind of doing what it's supposed to do. Because like you get to a point where you're like, after the second or third movie, you just want to go play in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, I just want to go be at Hogwarts. I just want to go be in the world.
I want to go and eat in the Great Hall.
Exactly. And that's what's, important, I think. That's what's really important. And obviously you want the rest of the stuff to be good too. Yeah. But it's kind of like Gilmore Girls in that way.
Do you love Gilmore Girls?
I just want to go to the cafe and hang out with Luke.
That's right.
I just want to go hang out with Harry and Ron and Hermione, I know. I just want to go play some Quidditch,
Amen. Amen. Well, that's kind of all I have. I cannot believe how excited I am to finish this series.
That just makes me so happy.
You only have like 2 books to go.
I know, but I feel like the rest of the way it's going to be very long.
The last one, I feel like might be the longest one. It's really long.
I mean, because the one I'm reading right now, I want to say it's like 20 some hours.
Yeah, it is. It was like 26, I think.
Dang.
Turn Devin off.
See, I listen. I probably have it takes me a while to listen to a podcast, like an hour or 2.
Well, you also you live in town. So like for me, and
exactly
how long
the
is your
drive time.
Your drive home is what for you guys?
Like to our house?
To your house.
15 minutes.
So for me, it's just under 20.
Yeah,
and I can take a longer way that takes like 25 minutes, and so sometimes I'll do that. But that's way longer. That's almost quadruple the amount of time it would
drive
ever
time
take
is
you
crucial.
Yeah.
I used to get so much music listened to because my commute to school was half an hour.
Right. Yeah.
So I would listen to so much stuff back in the day when I was in school.
So anyway,
we got a fact today
a
fact question. Trey said instead of just doing a fact about him, just ask him a question that leads to a fact. So he made it more complicated for me. But I think that my question is...
You can ask 2 or you can ask 1. It doesn't matter.
Well, we'll see how the first one goes.
Okay.
How did you and Bailey choose Selah's name? It's a very unique and beautiful name.
Yes.
I give you much credit is due because it is a very cool name.
Yeah.
How did y'all come up with it?
So 100%, I am shocked that Bailey allowed me to just do this, but I think she loved the name so much. It was 100% me.
Really? Wow.
Taking full credit.
Well, and she would say that. I chose the name, which is why
I didn't know this.
She is getting the ability to choose the name that we have, the next name. So when I was the year before I went to Ozark Christian College, the summer before, I worked at a Christian camp, and it was a very crucial point of my life. I was really trying to decide, am I really going to go to Ozark? Is this real life? And we had this kind of event for all faculty that was called the Plunge. And one of the things that we did is it was like a 3-day event for the faculty. And we went through a bunch of the Psalms. And in the Psalms, obviously Selah kind of comes up, that word comes up a lot. The meaning of it is kind of all over the place. People don't know what it exactly means. Some will say to pray, some will say peace, some will say to turn your attention to God. Like people will say different things like that. But it is a phrase that like was super important for me over that, probably those 3 days, and then, in the ensuing time before I went to Ozark that following semester. And I remember kind of like, when we found out that we were pregnant, I remember feeling the sense of we needed to do that again, where we needed to praise, we needed to kind of turn our attention to God, we needed to have peace, because it was about to be the craziest time of our life. And I went back and I saw it again, and so I was like, this is what we're naming our daughter.
So like from the very beginning, that was the
we
plan.
knew Selah's name at 8 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So when we found out we were pregnant, and then we knew if she was a girl, her name was going to be Selah. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
Not so much luck with this next one, though.
Not so much luck.
Haven't
This one has
chosen the
been
next
a little
name
bit
yet.
longer. I think, we're pretty solid on the name in which we are naming. But
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I didn't
You
know
have one. You have one in the bag.
we have the name. Yes.
You have one locked and loaded, as if you will.
It's my wife right now, so I think she wavers, but I would say that she's pretty positive.
And do you not say the name until the baby's born?
So we typically do not. We typically
You don't say it out loud.
Kind
of like the other name. Yeah.
I'm good. So Selah's name we told because we knew so early, and I think for part of the reason why we said her name so quickly was because it was a name that was super important for us, and so we wanted to share that. For this baby, Bailey kind of made the decision that she did not want to share that name.
Okay.
So I don't believe that we're gonna make it.
You don't have that much longer to go.
We don't.
Now that I know one has been chosen, I'm going to be very interested in what it is.
And so Bailey, I told her, I was like, if you don't want to, I will not. But good luck because I don't know that she's gonna be able to do it, but we'll find out. Huh. So anyway, that's how we got Selah's name.
That's awesome. That's a good story.
I really want to answer the other question that you asked.
Oh boy, Trey sure likes talking about it.
I do.
So,
I like talking. I like talking in general.
My other question. My other question was, did Trey ever believe in high school or in his younger years, maybe younger than high school, if he was going to be or desired to be a pro athlete? In any way?
So as a kid,
See, as a kid, I just knew it wasn't in the cards for me. I played sports. I played baseball, football, I ran track. Let me finish. And I played sports, and I was like, this is not something I will go pro.
Show them your trophy. Is your trophy in here?
Yeah. I've got.
I see a piano trophy.
This is my football trophy, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Then there's some other stuff we don't have to go over, but I got some trophies in the back. I got I played sports, and I was like, this isn't going to go further than
right. I get it.
It's just not in the cards,
So, I guess we have to hear your answer.
My answer as a kid was probably yes, until I got in 5th grade. In 6th grade, the sport will shock you that in which I thought I potentially could make it, and it was baseball.
Dance. Baseball?
It was baseball. I played a lot of football, basketball, those things, but I was also always short, and so I never really I didn't think that I was ever going to really have a chance to do that kind of stuff, go pro in that, and I also it just wasn't in the cards. But we played a lot of baseball. I remember lots of times spending in the front yard, catching baseballs off of the concrete and stuff like that. And
what position you'd be great at playing?
What?
Shortstop.
I would have. I played shortstop and center field.
Get it?
Yeah, I get it. But so in 6th grade though, I also quit baseball. So I quit baseball because I hated
waiting for the ball to come to you.
Well, I hated how especially at a young age, when you get a little bit older, I would imagine had I made it to high school, I probably would have enjoyed it more. But in 6th grade, middle school baseball, you do a lot of waiting and sitting. depending on what position
I think
you
you
play.
do a lot of waiting and sitting in all of baseball. I hate baseball.
In baseball. Well, yeah, but there's a level of enjoyment. But yeah, it's, this is not what we need to get into right now. That's another tangent for another time. But once I got into high school, I knew I wasn't going pro. There was a hope of potentially going in like running or doing a sport in college, but I knew I was never going to go pro for any.
Gotcha.
I just wasn't good enough.
So the answer is yes, but you knew once you kind of got into it that it
about 6th grade
wasn't in the cards for you.
Then I was more of like, I just want to enjoy this and I want to be as best as I can be. So
gotcha.
So anywho,
that's good. That's a good frame of mind to be in, to just like, you know what, I'm just gonna enjoy this because it's nothing's gonna come of it probably, but I just want to have fun with it.
For sure.
Which I think is a great frame of mind to be in.
Yeah. It's great. Love it. Amazing. Sports. Harry Potter.
Sports and Harry Potter. Did you ever want to take up like a Quidditch situation?
He wants to now.
Yeah, now. I mean,
this is going to sound crazy. We played Quidditch in high school.
They have
Gym
Quidditch
class.
like leagues.
We played Quidditch in high school.
Did you ride around on little brooms?
So you...
Did
not
you
a
have your
broom.
little-
I
did you
actually
have your
don't
little
remember what
wand
it
out?
was, but we played Quidditch.
Were you a seeker?
I was definitely a seeker. 100% a seeker.
Wow.
I was either a seeker, but that was not always what you could be in gym because you had to switch positions.
I know that this isn't what it was, but I just love picturing you riding around on a little broom in like a little robe with the scar on your
and glasses.
and little glasses on. I really like picturing that. I'm picturing it right now.
Well, everyone, Kelsey, we want to thank you for joining us today.
no problem.
Thank
and we
you,
want to thank
Kelsey.
you all for tuning in with us. And you should totally check out whether you want to watch the movies or listen to the books. The audiobooks are great. Reading them, Kelsey would say, is better. But
Do the books.
Do books. They're great. Fictional reading is awesome. And as always, remember, don't
Wrestle
your
neighbor.
Bye.
Bye.